Hey, what's going on, people? How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Thursday night Speak Pipe show. Hopefully, you're having a great time. I'm your host, James. If you guys can hear me, you can see me. Go ahead, drop a one in the chat so that I can be sure I'm not sitting here talking to myself, making an ass of myself once again, because I have done that historically. I see a couple ones. Thank you guys so much. Rosamond Harris, Wendy's Front Yard, Mama Squirrel, what's going on? Yeah, we're back for another day, another dime, another dollar, another sister wife's adventure. Um, I want to give the room a little more time to load up. Hopefully, we can get some more folks in because I got some things that I want to say. That's that water quenching your thirst. What's going on? What's going on? I like hair. Awesome. Um, Hey, January Larry, welcome. Let's, you know what? I'm going to jump right into it. We don't have a whole lot of speak pipes this week. If you guys want to leave a message for speak pipe, feel free. We'll play it during the course of the show. It's usually a pretty good time. I have a good time with it. There's the SpeakPipe message. So you go to speakpipe.com/my take on reality. You leave a message, and guess what, guys? I play it and respond to it. Now, here's the thing. If you don't want your message played online, but you want to make a comment or ask a question, just say, James, I'll play the message online, but here's my comment, here's my question. And I'll just basically give a quick synopsis of what the comment is or the question is, and then I'll respond to it. Or if you just want to leave me a message or whatever the case may be, you can always go to SpeakPipe. Where am I going? This way. Speakpipe.com/my take on reality. All right. Yeah, the one thing that I wanted to talk about specifically was some news that actually, thanks Lizzie B in the house, one of my mega mods. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, Black Swan in the house, is something that kind of came to my attention from another content creator, Sarah Fraser. I think she had mentioned it. I'm not sure where she had heard this from, but she had mentioned on her show that in order to save the Sister Wives show, right? Because we all realize that this show is going down like the Titanic. Well, like we see the iceberg, okay? And we recognize the show is going down. But there is a point where she's making the argument that Sarah Fraser was making an argument, or at least from what she heard, that the Brown family is talking about reconciling their differences so that they can continue the show. That's right. If you haven't heard it, the Brown family are talking about reconciling their differences so they can keep their show. Here's my thoughts. And I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is false. I don't know if this is just one of those internet rumor mill things. But when I heard that, here's my initial thoughts on it. If they were considering it, or if TLC is trying to pressure the Brown family to get it done. Because I do remember when Suki was on the tell-all, she had said to one of the people, wouldn't it be great? I think she said it to Cody. Wouldn't it be great if you guys could all get back together and we could all see you back on the couch again? Like, that's a fantasy. I know that you think it's for the fans, but that's for the fantasy. Because there's no universe where that shit would make sense. Let's call it what it is. There is 0 universes in the multiverse where that would make sense. The only way it would make sense for them to try to reconcile at this point, go out of their way to try to reconcile at this point, if they still had very young children amongst them that they all had to co-parent. Other than that, right now, all the children are adult children. As far as Cody is concerned, Robin is concerned, the OG3, you're all exes at this stage in the game. You're all exes. Now, it would be nice. Would it be nice, James? Would it be nice if exes could get together and go out to lunch and breakfast and call each other on the phone and hang out for family vacations? That would be nice. That would be nice. Is it realistic? No. You know what I mean? And I know they're new to the monogamy game and breakups and stuff. You know, Cody and Robin are fairly new to serious monogamous relationships, but that is not the norm. For you to get back with your family members, for you to get back with people that you had kids with and you guys had a severe disagreement with, and then for all of a sudden you guys to get back together, no, that shit is not normal. Sorry, not sorry. You know what I mean? If anything, here's where I'm kind of drawing the line. Not only would it not be sensible because it wouldn't make any real sense, and clearly it would be something that's manufactured to create a storyline, but I'll take it a step further, guys. If they do it in my chat, I can't comment on nobody else's. I mean, even though I have seen other people's chats, I've been in IQ's lives. I've been in the chat for reality TV cranes. I work with Sarah for a bit. Amanda, even Gnosis Self 444, Senior Perspective, Jenny from Senior Perspective. I've been in all these rooms, and the one consistent thing that I can say in all these rooms is that the fan base that attends at least these YouTube channels that I've been on and the ones that I've seen, even Amanda and Backwoods Barbie Amanda, every time I see it, the one consistent comment I've always seen is, I'm tired of seeing Robin. I'm tired of seeing Cody. They need to get them off the show. Tired of seeing Robin. Tired of seeing Cody. They need to get them off the show. One more again. Tired of seeing Robin. Tired of seeing Cody. Need to get them up off the show. Now, why do I say that? I say that for this reason. If there's a natural reason why they would be on the show or appear on the show, it kind of is what it is. You know, the fans have kind of learned to lump it and like it because it makes sense for them to be there. If you guys reconcile, that shit won't make any sense. It won't make any sense. You've spent, like, these ladies have spent from Christine forward. You guys have spent season 16, 17, 18, now 19, slamming, bashing, dashing, and talking about how you don't get along with Robin and Cody. Now all of a sudden the show is in trouble, and we're gonna do the We All Family, All Brown Family reunite. Like, forget all that bullshit. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. What it turns into is the problem is a few fold. One, you guys are going to have a honesty problem because I have a few videos that I've been trying to piece together now, and I'll try to do it as one video where I'm talking about like the first meeting and the implications there, the lies that have been told, the lies that have been passed on. But just to give a little preview of what I've been putting together, I've been pulling clips the whole nine. That's why it's taking so long to get this shit out. A lot of production, back end stuff. But as I'm pulling clips, Cody sat on that couch. And when they talked about like the fans feeling that he preferred Robin, he sat there and said, oh, that's just some internet bullshit. That's stuff that the YouTubers and the social media people came up with. No, I watched the show, ass. That's how I know you preferred Robin. I watched the show. Sorry, not sorry. I watched the show. And here's the thing. You can say, yeah, but James, you probably wasn't getting the gist of it. And that don't make no sense. But, dude, if I saw that Robin, you preferred Robin, you don't think these women you live with noticed? You think they had to have you come to them specifically and say, ladies, I don't love you. I've always loved Robin. That's the only one I'm in love with. Let's break it down this way. one of the early, and again, this will be in my video. It might be 3 parts, it might be 4 parts. But, excuse me. But Christine, when she was sitting on the couch in one of the earlier episodes, I think it was episode 2, where they were talking about Robin, Christina said, I don't want her here because I don't get enough time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You live with them, don't you? You live with them. And you're spending 5 hours on the road to go see Robin and her kids, spend the weekend so they get back-to-back nights with you, not even married into the family, not your kids. Then you spend another 5 hours to come back. Then when Christine is asking you to go downstairs and watch your kids, you tell her that you can't do it because it'll be unfair to the other women. Dude, you just spent 10 hours on the road to go watch somebody else's damn kids. You can't spend 5 minutes, go downstairs to make sure your kids are in bed? But no, that's not favoritism. That's not favoritism. That doesn't prove he had a favorite wife or he preferred somebody over somebody else. How about the simple fact that if she said, I'm not getting my time right now, that's indicative of the fact that if you're not getting your time and you guys all live in the same house, what does that mean? That means the dude ain't coming home. He's not coming. He's not coming home. If you're not getting your time and you all 3 of his wives and his entire family live in one house under one roof that's divided into 3 apartments basically, and you still aren't seeing them, you still aren't spending time with them, your kids aren't hanging out with them, that means to me that he's not coming home. So when it's your night, he's not coming home, but somehow, some way, he's able to find time to go spend 5 hours in the car, spend the weekend and spend 5 hours coming back with somebody else, and you telling me that's not favoritism? I don't know why the fans thought that. I don't know why. And that's just one small instance where I could point that out. We're not talking about the wedding dress. We're not talking about the rings. We're not talking about the actual wedding. We're not talking about the honeymoon. We're not talking about the fact that you got Mary got a job. Janelle had a job, paying a lot of the bills, if not all the bills. Then you have Robin. She's living in Salt Lake or wherever, in the other part of Utah. Yeah, from what I understand, you was kicking in for the rent of the other places she was renting. Then you paid for the U-Haul. You paid to move her down to Lehigh. Then when she moves to Lehigh, you and the family pay for her to live around the corner. She doesn't work. But then you had your pregnant ass wife, taking her ass to work every night up until the time she dropped the baby. Yeah, but there's no favoritism there. I don't know why I would say that. You got your girlfriend living around the corner paying her rent. She's not working, and you have your pregnant wife working. I don't know why people thought you had a favorite, dude. We must be stupid or something. We the dummies. That's what it is. We're so stupid that we think if I have a woman who I'm paying her whole life for, the only thing she buying is bras, drawers, and maybe a couple sandwiches here and there. But I have my other woman pay. Not only do I have her paying her own way, but then I have her out working, pregnant, in a high-risk pregnancy. I have her working. And then when she asked me to tuck my kids in, girl, that ain't my job. Well, I mean, I gotta go out. Well, I mean, you gotta stay here with me because I'm lonely and I need you because I'm pregnant. Girl, you know I gotta go help Robin with her kids. She's all by herself out there with 3 kids all to herself. But she's not a favorite. That's the first thing. But then you also had Mary come back and say, oh, yeah, well, you introduced Robin. And then she dropped a whole lot. Oh, that's just something that came up on the internet. Wrong. That's something that was said in the second episode or the tell-all where the host had described it that way. And it was also hinted to and loosely supported in the book, even though it doesn't say directly in the book that they introduced him. What it does say is that Mary pushed Cody to go do it. And I have a whole line of reasoning and things that I want to bring out about that, thoughts about that situation. So again, you guys have been, and this isn't the first time you guys have blamed your misunderstandings on the internet. And the fans don't know me and they don't understand me because of the internet. So if we don't know you, we don't understand you. And therefore you're going to be able to bring people back who we've been arguing aren't deserving of your time, but you're going to bring them back and pretend like you are one big fat happy family, then you're all fake. And what's the point of me watching the show? If they do that, that's just one instance. You will destroy this show. If TLC does this, my prediction is you'll destroy this show. You'll have people peeling off this show like an onion, boo boo. This whole thing will be over. This will be over. You understand what I mean? Nobody has interest in Cody, or I'm sorry, Christine and Janelle. Ladies, I'm going to be honest. The fans adore you guys. They adore you. So if you support Cody and Robin, because that's what you would be doing if you do this whole reconciliation game, you guys are in a position to get your own show. But if you sacrifice your show because you're trying to save Robin and Cody, they're going to take you down with them. They're going to take you down with them. And the funny thing is, ladies, here's the jacked up part. If the shoe was on the other damn foot, if for some reason TLC was talking about cutting you guys out because they want to do a love story with Cody and Robin, I feel like, and I've said this before on my channel, I feel like if in the first season, because this is the way the show was set up. I went back and watched some of that first episode, the second episode, specifically the second episode. The way the show is set up, guys, this show from TLC was set up to be Cody and Robin's love story. I don't care what anybody says. A point of order that I'm going to make right now, if you look at the setup of the show, not only was a lot of it focused on Robin, oh, she was just coming in the family, she was new. Nay. When you look at the setup of the tell-all, this last year, 2-3 years ago, when they did the tell-alls, they started doing the one-on-ones. That wasn't the first time they did one-on-ones, guys. The first time they did one-on-ones was actually when in the first season, when they took Cody up to the roof, they did a one-on-one with him. And then later on in that episode, they took Robin up to the roof and they did a one-on-one with her. This was their show. This was their show. The fans changed the trajectory of this show, but as it was produced by TLC, this was their show. This was supposed to be their show. The OG3 were supposed to be antagonists. That's why they played the part where Christine is sitting on the couch crying, talking about, I don't want her in the family because we're all getting replaced. We're getting fired. That was supposed to be the point when the fans were supposed to turn on Christine and say that she was wrong. That's the way they produced the show. I'm telling you, go back and look at it. That's the way they produced the show. The first season was heavily geared towards Robin being the hero of this story. That's why even in the tell-all, they had the host describe Robin as this quiet, sensitive, shy wife who is just so caring and open-hearted and going into the family in a generous mood. Like they staged her as the hero. And I'm saying that if things would have taken off and TLC would have said, look, guys, as much as we like the polygamy thing and it was a way to get you guys foot in the door, we're talking about canceling the show. But the only way it'll move forward, Robin and Cody, is if we have you two as a couple on the show and we just do a spinoff with you guys and just you guys. Cody and Robin would have dropped that family like a damn bad habit. 100%. They would have dropped their asses like a bad habit. They would have dropped them off. It would have been over for them. I fully believe that. And so where I'm sitting right now, and this is back then when the family was way closer, I think they would have got dropped off. Where it is now, If TLC would have said to Robin and Cody, cut them off, and we'll run a spinoff with you guys. And then another executive or producer from TLC said, well, I mean, there is only one way we could keep the OG3 on, is that's if you guys reconcile. Cody would have said, no, it's too painful. He talking about he doesn't even want to go on vacations and stuff with Christine. Again, that's another thing that kind of gives me a little more inclination that Sarah Frazier's information might be right. Because if you look at it, they were trying to seed in little hints where they were talking about Suki was talking to Cody, Christine, and David, and he said, oh, would you guys be willing to go out for lunch and talk? Would you guys be willing to hang out? Would you guys be willing to do a boys trip? Oh yeah, we'll do a boys trip and blah, 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 blah. That's straight up housewives, real housewives shit. When you go on vacation and you guys are hanging out with people that you can't. Oh, it's always been my dream to go to Ireland and see the stone. Go to England and see Stonehenge. Go see the Blarney Stone over in Ireland. Go see Big Ben or whatever. This always been my dream. Go to Africa, the Ghana or South Africa, whatever. That's always been my dream. And they say, okay, we'll pay for you to go, but you got to take the person you hate. And you guys have to have at least 5 fights to make it worthwhile. There's no way in the world. My favorite is like even on the Real Housewives stuff, they have people go to the restaurants and it'd be like expensive restaurants. Everybody's dressed up and people in there flipping tables over. I guess that's circa like Teresa Giudice early on in Jersey, Housewife Jersey. But that's how they do it. And that's what they were trying to set it up. So do I put it past them to try to create like a reconciliation thing where they go out on trips and they go places and then they spend the next few seasons talking shit about it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I think the reason why Cody doesn't want to go on those trips and do those things is because Cody wants his own show. Cody and Robin want their own show. I've said this before, they spent that last year filming a show. They filmed their sections just like Christine, Mary, and Janelle did. They filmed their sections. And I guarantee you their sections were probably jam-packed with that bullshit like, oh, let's go get the kids baptized. Let's go get, we're going to take one child down to get their ears pierced. We're going to go to daddy-daughter dance with Ariella. I'm going to take Solomon fishing, that kind of stuff. And the TLC looked at it and said, this is not going to work. This is junk pile, and cut it and put it in the editing pile. That's why Cody and Robin have taken turns saying that they don't want to talk about the OG3. They can't look at the screen. They don't want to review the clips. That's, in my opinion, that's why they're doing it. Because they don't want to talk about them because they want their own show, their own storyline. And they're trying to bully TLC into doing it. And Christine and Janelle, if you guys are talking, they're talking about giving you your own show, you would be fools to go along with Cody and Robin to try to save them for the show. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like they've outlived their time on this show. They haven't done anything new. And one of the sad parts is by you guys trying to keep them involved, here's the real deal. Since season, really, it goes earlier than that. Like it's like season 15. Like you guys haven't had any real discussions. Like 15 and 16, it was basically like the most real discussion they had aside from like the whole COVID storyline was actually Christine talking about we can go back to Utah and her desire to go back to Utah and Cody telling her no. Other than that, they had nothing then either. Like the storylines just weren't working because everybody was so separate. Everybody was living separate lives. Now, geographically, they're all living separate lives. It makes no sense for them to have one show anymore. Another problem that I have, and then I'll get into the Speakpipe stuff. If these ladies do this, they'll have to answer questions. And again, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but they would have to answer questions about some hard questions. Wait, where's my thing? Yeah, there we go. They'll have to answer some hard questions about their character, because we've given the OG3 a pass, big pass on, well, maybe they stayed together because of the way they were raised. Maybe they stayed together because of their faith. You guys aren't sticking together or getting back together because of your faith or the way you're raised. That's straight greed. That's you wanting to keep the show going and be on the show. And if that is the case, you open, like, if you agree to do this show and try to reconcile and roll out a bunch of fake ass storylines, then I have to start seriously asking that question. And it's not just about this particular show, but it'll be questions about, well, how much crap were you willing to put up and how much were you willing to sacrifice your kids and everything else for this show so that you could keep making this money? Is money over everything? This show over everything at that point. Now I'm not like, and part of me, like it's just the way my mind works. You know, sometimes I see things and I hope that those things aren't true. And I hope they aren't accurate, or I make a prediction. I hope that it doesn't work out that way, because I recognize that if it does work out that way, that I have to take certain next steps. And I'm in that position right now with the OG3. I don't want to look at them like that. I'm hoping that that's not what they're doing. But it kind of goes back to what I was saying before when we were talking about Karen Dillon. What's going on? We were talking about folks coming in and them getting back on the couch together and having a conversation together and confronting one another. One of my big things was always, I think it would be good TV, but I don't know if it would be healthy for the participants. Like, if you're the victim of any type of mistreatment, abuse, you're the victim of crime, it's damaging psychologically for you to be forced to sit in a room with somebody and have a conversation, especially when you don't have the boundaries or barriers where you can express yourself freely without that person who's been historically a bully, a bruiser, a person who's abused you, constantly running over you and constantly questioning what you say and cutting you off and exerting their power once again. What happens in some cases, and there's a show that I want to review that I'm actually kind of digging now, Family and Fiance. It's a Oprah pair-off show. It has a person that used to be on the Oprah show, relationship coach who used to be on the Oprah show. And there was a person who experienced extreme trauma, and you can literally see what I was talking about. Like, where somebody, when they almost revert back to the person that they were when they experienced that trauma. No matter how mature, sophisticated, or intelligent they are, it's almost like when they're sitting across from that person who's been the source of their pain and anguish, they become that person again. It's almost like they lose all power. And we watch these women be lost and then find themselves. And I think that it's not helping anybody to watch them go back to being the people that they were when the show first started. Like, I dig the fact that Christine is like, this whole thing was dumb, and she's even reconciling the fact and taking accountability of the fact that, yeah, you know, some things were probably going on. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that Cody might have been down there banging out Robin, you know, hitting a Thundercat down there with Thundercat, you know, doing things. You know, it makes sense. And I give Christine credit because that's something that she didn't, or if she questioned it, she never articulated it or voiced it in the past. But she's starting to do that now because she's starting to claim her power. And putting her on that couch with him, I don't know if she's going to be in a position where she can maintain and claim her power and keep her power. And if it's a question of her risking it, maybe she'll be successful. Maybe she'll be able to do it. I don't know. But I don't think it's worth it to find out if the answer is no. if that makes sense. And putting them back in a situation where they're keeping this show going because they want to make money, you're opening yourself up for further abuse and mistreatment. You're opening your kids up for further abuse and mistreatment. Like, because even with Janelle, she lives with Maddie. She lives with Caleb. She lives with her grandkids. So she can't be in a situation where she brings Cody and Robin back into her life and she's living under one roof with people who don't want to associate with them. And that could force them to have to deal with him when they don't want to deal with him and they're not ready to deal with him, or they don't feel like it's safe. Maddie has said that she doesn't feel like it's safe for her kids because of the consistency or whatever. She didn't necessarily say it was something physical or whatever, or emotional. She just said because of the consistency sake. So, I mean, those are my concerns. Like, I just don't want to, they've come so far, and I would hate to have a situation where they destroy themselves or smash themselves up against a rock because they kind of get conned into doing the show or making that kind of entertainment decision they shouldn't be making. This is along the lines, as far as I'm concerned, if TLC is presenting this to them, this kind of sounds to me like the conversation Cody had when he was talking to Christine about the 50-50 custody. And yeah, girl, if you don't give me that 50-50 custody, I mean, even though you moved to Utah, we're going to do everything in Arizona legally. Even though the baby live in Utah and you're going to take care of the baby 100% on the paperwork, it's going to say 50-50. And it will figure out times when I'm actually going to come and see her, which is probably never. But then when we talk about child support, we're not going to pay child support because then the government going to come and take the baby away because they going to own her. Like, that stupid shit. Like, I can see TLC dropping that same kind of stupid ass logic. Yeah, this show about to get canceled, so we gotta put Cody and them back on it. Like, no, you don't need Cody and Robin on the show. You just need to start doing damn storylines that actually make sense. The show is failing not because you don't have enough Cody and Robin. The show is failing because you don't have enough storylines, because you're trying to keep people around. Dead weight. You're trying to keep dead weight around. I'm going to call it what it is. Bump it. You're trying to keep dead weight around. And so you're trying to rehash and revitalize storylines that are almost 5-6 years old. Cody Pass is about 5 years old. They just sold it this year. Cody Pass is done data. Why would they get back together? We sold the land where we could all come back and unite as one family. We sold that land, but we're going to pretend like we all going to get together and become friends again? Not really interested in seeing it. If that's what y'all want to do in your private time, make it an off-camera experience. I'm just saying. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think that the whole thing is a mistake. Was this parallels to how trauma can reshape how we remember things? Yeah. Oh, we had a super chat from Heather Kelly, $10 super chat. No message, just the love. Thank you so much, Heather. I appreciate you. Give you a little something. Down. Appreciate you, Heather. What is this? I agree. If you're going to spill the tea, Christine and Janelle, because Mary is not, be careful, but answer the questions we want answers to. That's yeah, Carmen, you're right on point. Did Cody and Robin go to a honeymoon to Hawaii after the legal divorce? Right. You got to spill relevant tea. You just can't go up there and be like, guys, I think Cody might have been knocking out her bottoms before they got married. Ben said that. I don't know too many people. If you let me ask, I'm gonna ask this in the chat, because this will be an example, because this is something that, like, Christine dropped it during the tell-all, and I acknowledge the fact that it might be new information for her, but I don't think anybody was confused as to whether Cody was getting at Robin driving 5 hours to go see her, spending a weekend and driving 5 hours home. And she doesn't have like an extra bedroom. And he wasn't renting no hotels. Like, it wasn't even like he was coming back with motel receipts. So he's staying at her house. And like Christine said, he's too comfortable in the house. But let me ask this question. Do you think Cody and Robin were familiar, we'll say it that way, before they were married? Now, let me know, because I'm curious. Because I've always taken a position that that's what it was, and I'm curious. Maybe folks are looking at it like, "Nah, James, that ain't right. That's not how they raise. That's not how they do things. Like that's how you do it in the world." But the Mormons is serious. He's serious about their stuff, which is possible. Like that's why I'm asking a question. All right. Let's see, all the few items that came out of the last tell all, the fans have already debunked those things forever ago. Thank you. Thank you. The stuff that y'all talking about, either you're trying to draft new stories which don't make sense and the fans debunked it, or the only way your new story or new retelling works is if everything you said before was a lie. Either way, I don't know what you're admitting to or why you're admitting it. Because if you're on a reality show and you come out and you destroy your credibility, I don't know how long you think you're going to have a reality show. Like, what are you doing? What's this? What is this? They absolutely were doing the nasty. The lunatic was driving like a madman. He even brought a babysitter with him. He's a disgrace. Yeah, they was doing the nasty. You don't go to church and be like looking at a woman like, oh man, you know what I do to that boy? Break that shit down like fractions, son. Oh boy, you don't know what you don't even know. Like, and then you laying in bed next to her for weeks on it. Like, there's no way. The only way he wasn't knocking them boots off was knocking them boots is if she said no. Now she might have held out because she wanted to secure the bag. My wife actually said something interesting because we were talking about it because I was doing all this pulling and stuff. But she had said, by their description, damn. She said, by their description, that's going to be my next question. See what you guys think about this. By their description of like how the events rolled out, she said, and I quote, Cody came in and was talking about he was married, because that's going to be a whole thing that I'm going to talk about in my upcoming video. He's talking about how, I was staring at her all hard and I realized it might have been inappropriate because she was married. And my wife said, if she was married, Cody still would have went home with her ass. And they just would have been cheating together. And I thought about it. I was like, yeah, you're right. I was like, yeah, you got that one. All right, fair play. I told you my wife real one. So we already got, like, I don't know if there's much room for this poll to continue. In 3 minutes, we had 41 votes. 100% of the people said yeah. So do you think Cody and Robin were familiar before they were married? 100% of the people say yes. 100%. I've never had 100% on anything. I mean, most cases you can't get 100% agreement on the color of the sky. But we grown folk, and I don't think it's too many people that's like, I don't know. I don't know. 5 hours? Yeah, I can see that. Let me ask this question. Real quick. Do you think Cody would have cheated with Robin if she wasn't available? Mr. Longhair. I mean, it's a little harder question. You see, I've never lived in a world where a mom of 3 and a dad of 13, both married before, both healthy adults. That's what I've always said. Going hours out of their way to connect, wouldn't hook up every chance they got. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Wendy. Is it mental awareness month? I think it is. May is mental health awareness month. Yes. Oh no, it's May. Shit. Autism, maybe. Sorry, guys. Got a little distracted. But April, okay. I like to acknowledge those months. Gotta get back on it. But yep, Tanya Carter. Grown folk gonna do what grown folk do. That's what I'm talking about. We adults. We are damn adults. I look, I don't even want to be that guy. But look, I mean, 5 hours. People are traveling across the state, shuttling back and forth for stuff that I could do literally on FaceTime. FaceTime. I could do FaceTime, like, because we have the technology now. This ain't like back in the days when you sending out letters and you gotta get on the stagecoach to go see somebody. Like, you have FaceTime. You have all the technology. You can sit there and look each other in the face the whole time and giggle and sniggle and all that other stuff. You ain't got to be away from your family for a weekend and an exorbitant amount of time. And you could spend the same quality time as you would if you were, doing what they did, supposedly. Uh-oh. Aunt Mitty said in the AUB, sex is supposed to be for procreation only. So I say Simon threw down some oral or something and knocked Cody on his ass. Yeah. I mean, she was from the world, so. And let's, you know what? And I won't. Let's see. Do a little debunking here. Utah is probably one of the more religious states in the union. I can't really think of a state that's probably more so, mostly because of the Mormon faith, and respect the game, son. Like, the Mormons are serious about they stuff. They are serious about their faith. But at the same time, there was like a years ago, I was having a conversation with somebody, and they dropped up a stat on me. And I was like, what? Okay, because some of the adult sites have reported that Utah was extremely high. In fact, it was so high and so many people disliked the fact that they had this reputation. They actually passed a law, an anti-adult law, adult material law in Utah because people were accessing these sites. People in Utah are not quiet folks. Like, some of them are about that life and are dedicated, serious about it. And I'm not besmirching them. But there are other folks, like even that mom talk thing. The whole thing with mom talk, the whole draw of that is the innocent girl next door who's a freakadeek, super freak. That's the whole draw of mom talk. Mom talk and that Secret Lives of Mormon Wives show on Hulu. That's what the draw is. So they're about that life too. Like, it's not as innocent as everybody plays it. Yeah, April is Autism Month. Thank you so much, local art witch. Yes. Yeah, the results are in, guys, and then we're gonna go right to the phone calls. But do you think Cody would have cheated with Robin if she wasn't available? Like, meaning if she wasn't single, if she had a husband, do you think Cody would have cheated with her? 87% said yes. Only 13% said no. Cody would keep those vows. The way he was hard staring at her, and you don't stare at a woman like that. You're in church, in a polygamous church. You don't hard stare at women like that. You know, will you wait for their husband to come? Like, I don't know. It's just, he like the thunderbolt shooting all over the place. Yeah, I don't know. I think he might have did that thing. You know, I felt like I was in love, especially after they got finished dancing. And he said, we spent the whole night. And it was the most cherished thing. I've been a man a long time, y'all. Been a man a long time, my whole life, in fact. Well, maybe not a man, but I've definitely been a boy to a man. And I've been around a bunch of dudes. And I've never seen a guy break down crying about how he met his living, existing girlfriend / wife or significant other. Never seen it. I never seen it. You know, and he was up there. He was breaking down, son. And then she looked at me, and I was looking at her. And like, it was so special to me. Oh, yeah, I've never seen that shit. I'm like, what's wrong with him? Somebody need to check on Cody ass. His relationship ain't going good. If he's crying like that, they're about to break up. That's the only time I see it. Like, the only time I would imagine somebody crying like that is if you guys either broke up or somebody passed away. Somebody passed away, but like, yeah, probably, it is what it is. Some bad things probably happen. Oh, what is this? Yeah. The vulgarity of the thought of Mary being with another man, taking another lover, sickens me. Laugh my butt off. Meanwhile, he's trying to get. Meanwhile, he in there stand women up and down in the church like a fiend, a crack fiend. Now, I'm not talking about drugs. I'm talking about debutante. All right, let's roll in this before I get myself in further trouble. All right, let's pop on some of these lovely speak pipes. First up, we have Janet.
Hey James, it's Janet. I just was curious to hear your thoughts on the last tell-all at the very end, how Cody,
Good pause.
in my opinion, strategically like says, cut the cameras, please. I'm just wondering what you think about that. Because in my opinion, it seems like he either said it to make people think he was going to choose Suki out, or he was going to choose Suki out. For like the stuff she asked him, and both either could be true. Hey, Cody's not a very genuine person, so I don't know. I can see him just doing it to seem like he still had control, and that he wanted to say that to indicate to the audience that he was going to like try to get her fired, or because it was so inappropriate, her questions, which of course they weren't. I don't know. It just gave me like kind of a weird feeling, and I don't know. I was just wondering what you thought of it. I mean, obviously it was included. Is that production including it like on purpose and he didn't know they were going to include it? It seems very purposeful to me that he would say that, but he could have said it thinking it won't be included in the episode. There's a lot of like things about just that last final like statement of his that I feel like it's on purpose. What do you think?
The last statement, where the end of the tell-all, and Cody says, "Cut the cameras," because I absolutely think that Cody was going to ball out Suki. Between Suki and the production team, there's some things that were talked about on the stage where he was talking about being a football player and he brought up the sex stuff or the premarital things, activities that he had with the person in college. And he was saying that because Suki was asking questions about, oh, you crossed the line. You crossed the line, Jack. Right? And he did that whole thing. I think that there's a point where they took a break. He went and talked to Robin. Robin told him that he shouldn't have said that because it's going to make him look bad and it makes him look piggish. And so he comes back out and he tells her that they crossed the line. And that at that point, when they go back, they were supposed to cut that part out of the tell-all. Clearly they didn't. And I think they left that little hint because they have been leaving hints since season 18, where he did the whole breaking the fourth wall and he was talking to Jill. Tell the fans, because he wanted that cut out of the episode. That's what breaking the fourth wall would normally do on a reality show. If you acknowledge that you're on a reality show, you acknowledge the camera people and all those folks. Usually those scenes get cut out. And he's been on here for a long time, so I'm assuming that he would know that. And then for him to say, like, cut the cameras, that's because he doesn't want it on film or on tape with him hooping and hollering and yelling. Here's a secret, though, because one, whether you say cut the cameras or not, you aren't in charge of jack shit. So I guarantee you, whatever he talked about or whatever he said during that time, folks, they got that on tape. They got, well, I say tape because I'm old. They have it on video. Okay? Them cameras don't cut off. They have that on video. What you should always be worried about, and this is anytime you get mic'd up, it's that damn mic. Because they could cut the cameras, but that audio, if they don't cut that off, that's where people get burned down all the time. Audio. They cut the cameras off and they turn the cameras away, or the cameras, they put them down, face down. You think you in the clear, and that audio's still running, and they catch your whole conversation. And I guarantee you that because if you notice, the cameras, the scene went away and they were focused on like the monitor or whatever. But again, you heard what he said. So I guarantee you, they have that entire conversation. So whatever he said, anytime they want, they can put that out. So, but I think that was an interesting moment. Again, I think it was just a subtle reminder to Cody that he ain't running nothing. Because he told him to cut the cameras off and they included it in the show. That's a shot over the bow as far as I was concerned. To let them know we got it. Got it. We freaking got it. They could take them down anytime they want. And I'm sure, like, you guys have been shooting this show for the last 15 years or 10 years. Oh, 15 years. You've been shooting this show. Longer than that, 16 years. You've been shooting this show. And in that time, I guarantee you, because it's a reality show, they have everybody on that show saying or doing something that would completely get them canceled if they release those tapes. I guarantee you. I don't even know why Cody playing with these folks, because he has no control. Once you sign those release forms, and this is one of the crazy things about reality shows too. When you sign those reality shows, really any show, like if somebody's shooting a documentary, you sign that release form, they own whatever it is they taped, and you release them to release it. Even if it ruins your life, they can release it because it's theirs. Years ago, there was a woman named Vanessa Williams. She was a Miss America. I think she was like the first Black Miss America, if I'm not mistaken. And when she was coming out of high school, going into college, she started her modeling career, and she had taken some photos with an unreputable photographer, where she taken some disrobed photographs. She went on. She won Miss America. The photographer who took those pictures sold the pictures to Playboy. Right? She was her crown. She was stripped of her crown, and if she tried to sue that young man or that photographer, young man, that clown ass dude, she tried to sue that clown ass photographer because he released those photos. It was unsuccessful because he had a release, and so technically he owned those photos. Those photos were his to do whatever he wanted to do with them, produce them, sell them, remake them. Now you have to be careful with AI and that kind of thing. So yeah, Cody does not own anything. Yeah, Wendy's front yard. Yeah, you guys remember. Oh, Mama Squirrel. She said she was in the penthouse. Oh, okay. That's different. Those who know. Those who know. Playboy's was a little more classy for what it was. Penthouse was like, oh, woo. Playboy is a little more autistic. Like Penthouse was gutter. Penthouse Hustler, the guy from Hustler. I think he was I forget his name, dude in a wheelchair. But yeah. So yeah, you gotta just it's once they sign them documents, they can release any of that stuff that they want. You like, and another example of that, simply put, even with in the confines of the show, you think if Cody had any editorial power to be able to determine what could be played, what couldn't be played, any of this stuff would have made the air? Any of Christine's stuff would be on if he had the ability to actually cut stuff out. You know what I mean? My man is in trouble. Kind of me, I kind of hope, but I don't. Don't hope, but I absolutely hope that he did say something crazy, and later on, that TLC releases it. I think it would be hilarious. I think it'd be hilarious. But thank you for the comment, Janet. Sorry, I butchered it by making it start stop. Jada P.
Hey James, Jada P here. Just up watching a little Sister Wives podcast, and something came to my mind. I want them to ask, since they stay asking about old stuff, I want them to ask Christine, Tell Laws is over, how she feels about Robin in that portrait that Robin stole from her. The one with her, Cody, and the kids, and Robin replaced it with her and her kids. I want to know how Christine feels, how everybody feels, uh, Mary, and even Cody. How does he feel about that?
You for the question, Jada P. Here's what I think. I think that if you ask Cody, Cody's gonna say it was the most romantic special gift that anybody's ever given because it was like his true family and he really loved those kids because it's representative of him bridging the gap between him and Robin and their special love and how they, lightning bolts were striking them and stuff. I think if you ask real talk, anybody else, like my perspective on it, that shit is creepy. That is creepy as hell. If I was dating a woman and she took my kids, I have a photograph with my kids and my lady in that photograph, my wife in that photograph, and she took that same picture to an artist and had that artist redo the photograph. Well, shit, artists nowadays, AI or Photoshop or whatever, and they redid the picture and put my new girlfriend's head and her kids' heads on my kids and my wife. The party's over. Like that shit is done. We're done that day. We're done that day. I'll unwrap that gift like, huh? Yeah, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to pack your shit. You out of here. Yeah, James, don't do crazy. Sorry. Sorry. Don't do crazy. I'll give you a ride to the bus stop, baby. You be on the I'll take you to the train station because you're gonna be the last thing smoking up out of this and up out of here. Because there's no way in the world that would even be kind of a thing. Like, especially you're not taking. It's not like she took out, it was like a bunch of people from college or something that you don't hang out with, or a bunch of your buddies or friends that you used to go chill at the bar with or whatever, and they replaced like your family with those people. It'd be kind of sad, like you don't hang out with your family enough that they actually got to make pictures about you. But let's pretend like that was the case. And you replaced strangers or people you don't hang out with your family, not as weird. But you taking my kids, because regardless of, I know we do the whole Christine's kids, those are Cody's kids. You took my kids. I have nothing against step parents or bonus parents. I like bonus parents. I think that sounds a little better. I have nothing against bonus parents, bonus kids. I really respect. That's actually on that again. That's on that Family of Fiance. They have a guy. I just watched it yesterday. There's a guy who was with a woman. He was taking care of that kid, and he took responsibility for that kid. And when that relationship ended, he continued to take responsibility for that kid. And when something happened to the mom, they didn't say exactly what happened to the mom. He actually took guardianship over the young lady and raised her, right? Put her in college, the whole nine. Raised her all the way up to go to college. I respect that, right? But what can't happen is my love, adoration, the time I'm going to invest in this child can't ever replace the children I already have. I'm adding children. I'm adding to my family. I'm adding to my existence. I'm not subtracting anything, especially my responsibility. Those kids are my responsibility. So I'm not subtracting that. So I would have taken, if I was Cody, I would have taken offense there. Like, you took my kids out. Now, if you would have added your kids to it, that would have been kind of cool. But you don't ever take my kids out of a picture that I'm in. You know what I mean? I get maybe I'm being a little too sensitive about it, but it's just I don't know. To me, that just yeah, those are my kids. But you're not with her no more. But technically, Cody was still with Christine. So you can't even do that's your ex. That's a picture of your ex. And I'm your current. Like, you can't even do that. And regardless of whether she's my ex or not, those are my kids. So no, you can't take my kids out of a picture. I'm sorry, I'd have handed that shit right back to you. Oh, this is not, here you go. What's this? Oh no, we're not doing that. I don't know what. Maybe I misrepresented myself. I'm sorry. I'm James. No, you're not taking my kids out of a picture. Yeah, I can't do that. Who is this? Oh, okay. Hold on 1 second. Somebody said something I thought was interesting. I mean, everybody says something interesting, but what is it? Something about TLC. Where's that at? What is this? TLC does things just to get the fans irritated now. For example, engagement photos of Cody and Robin, cutest piggyback ride versus them leaning into the hood of the car, high heels, bodies together. I know. That got bust down all over it. There's no way to where you get to. If you saw your girlfriend or your wife, your husband or your boyfriend taking those kind of pictures with a woman or a man or whatever, and you guys are still together, there's going to be smoke in the city, Jack. Those pictures are not cute. Those pictures, well, I won't say the pictures aren't cute. Those pictures are not representative of somebody who's trying to respect boundaries. You understand what I mean? I've had women on my shoulders before as a young man. You put, giving piggyback rides and stuff. You could feel that heat. Yeah, come on now. You know what it is. Stop that shit. Like, we grown folk. You tell me you put that woman on the back of your neck? You feel that heat right? You tell no, sir. No, sir. You are way too familiar. You are way too familiar. And that's it. You know, there's a movie, Pulp Fiction, with Quentin Tarantino movie with Samuel L. Jackson, John Travolta. They were having a conversation in the beginning of the movie. It's a very interesting movie. Great dialogue in it. And one of the conversation they were actually having like a debate. These two psycho killers having a debate, talking about foot massages. And one of the lines that really sticks in there is like, you know, apparently their boss had tossed a dude off of a balcony through a glass greenhouse because he gave the guy he tossed off the building gave his wife a foot massage. He's like, you know, that's out of control. And John Travolta made the best point. He said, you know, the thing that makes foot massages so cool is that it's not a big deal. Everybody says it's not a big deal, but it's a big deal because it shows familiarity with somebody. Like, to touch them in that intimate way shows familiarity with that person. It shows a type of closeness with that person. You know, everybody pretends like it's not a big deal, but everybody knows it's a big deal. The woman getting a foot massage, the man doing it, and more importantly, her husband know it was a damn big deal. And when I see those photos, it's, you know, what makes those photos cool, it just looks like they're playing and it's playful. But I know it's a big deal. Cody knows it's a big deal. Robin knows a big deal. And his wives know it's a damn big deal. Those photos are serious. If you are engaged and you're not married and you have a whole commitment, especially any type of polygamous, polyamorous, any of those type of alternative relationships, one of the key things to make those relationships work is the adherence to boundaries. I think that the boundaries in those relationships have to be stronger than even in monogamous relationships because you don't have a whole lot of room to be playing around. There can't be a whole lot of gray area, because that creates problems, that creates insecurities, that could create the destruction of your relationship. And in that particular case, like, I looked at those pictures, like I said, you got my man, that woman all up on the back of dude's neck. And he feeling that, like, that Thundercat rubbing up on the back of his neck. That Thunder Cooch hitting the back of his head, like back here. You telling me he ain't thinking about it? The woman he been staring at, the woman he in the car driving 5 hours to see, she riding his back, her legs wrapped around him. You telling me all you got to do is turn it around? You telling me he ain't thinking about it? Grown man, Doc. Grown ass man, Doc. I'm just saying. Like, maybe, you know, I thought about it too. Maybe with some of this, when some of my opinions, like, James, that's just you. That's just you, James. You're a pig, James. You're a misogynist, James. I mean, maybe that shit's true. I don't know. But this is just my life experience. Like I said, what makes those pictures cool is that you can always go back and say it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. We're just horsing around. But I do know, for me, like I said, I'm with a real one, y'all. I know I can't be out taking no pictures like that with no women and coming home. I know I can't have no woman up over my shoulders talking about, oh, it's just horsing around. Look up. All I'm gonna say is look up Al Green shower grits. Shit. Ain't nobody trying to be in the shower bucket naked and get breakfast delivered. You understand what I'm saying? No, thank you. Ain't nobody doing that shit because there's no way in the world nobody is tolerating that. I wouldn't look at that and think it would be that would be cool beans. If my wife was doing that shit, taking pictures like that, I wouldn't be saying, oh, they're just joking around. It's being so silly. I would not be saying that shit. That's not one of the things that I would be saying. You understand what I mean? Like, it's not a thing. Like, so I understand where, and the crazy part, the part that's crazy to me, like, speaking of TLC frustrating the shit out of you, one of the things that's crazy to me is that if any of these women were to say, hey, that's not appropriate, they would have got instantly hit with the stop being jealous. You ruining a relationship. You need to work on yourself instead of worrying about what Robin's doing. After all, you got an apple. She has an orange, and you're so worried about her orange that you're not appreciating your apple. All that craziness. Keep sweet and pray. look, I'm just saying. Hey, you that is, oh, it's not a big deal. It's a total big deal. That is a big deal. Because that, again, that shows a level of familiarity for you to be, for you guys to come in contact with each other like that. That's a level of familiarity. And I think that's even a little bit beyond like just kind of holding hands. Like when you start putting your private parts on me, you know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just, I don't be too weird about it. Well, moving on, guys, because I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I keep talking. Next up, we got Tina. What's Tina got to say? Tina, we doing some Jones.
Hi, it's Tina. This may be controversial, but here goes. The more I learn about Mary, the more I'm convinced that Robin was Mary's karma for how she treated the rest of the family. At this point, where Janelle got her money out of Coyote Pass and Christine got her child support, if Mary wants to give her last dime to Moo Moo and Noodles to buy dollies, I fully support her choices as a grown woman and favorite ex-wife to do so. Moo Moo and Noodles karma's coming, though.
She called her Moo Moo and Noodles. Moo Moo and Noodles. Oh, damn. Moo Moo and Noodles. Yeah. You know what? If that's what one of the struggles, and I'm gonna be honest, like there's times when I hear what Cody has said to Mary and how he treated her, then I'm just like, this dude, man, somebody need to go see his ass because this is crazy how she treated him. That's just so wrong and blah blah blah. And I feel bad for her. But some of the times, some of the things that I struggle with Mary specifically is that it just seems like she's out, but she doesn't want to be out. To quote another early on sci-fi movie, since I'm on a roll, there's a movie called The Matrix. All the Manosphere guys like to quote it. But there's a character in The Matrix named Cypher. And he eventually betrays like the heroes or whatever. And the whole thing with the Matrix is humanity is basically plugged into a computer and they live like out a computer program. And they're using human bodies for batteries. And to satiate the mind, they plug you into this machine. And then eventually you get free from the machine. And once you're out, right? You can't go back, get plugged back in. So you have to make the choice whether you want to be free and live in the real world or whether you want to live inside this computer generated matrix of a world. And one of the characters, Cypher, he came out, he didn't like it, and he wants to get back into the matrix. And I say all that to say this. I feel like Mary is Cypher. Like I feel like when she talks sometimes, I feel like she genuinely wants to get plugged back into the machine. Like she doesn't want to be out. Like Christine, she's okay with being out. She's happier out. Janelle, she's happier out. But Mary, it feels like she wants to get back in, even down to the fact that like when she sat there and criticized, I know we talked about it before, when she sat there and criticized Christine and Janelle for talking about the luggage rack or whatever. Oh, why they keep bringing up the luggage rack? I mean, why are you still talking about him? I mean, your boyfriend is there. Why are you talking about Cody? Because that's how they're dealing with they're processing their pain. They're talking about them because they're processing their pain. Like I would say that I do have an issue of every time I turn around, you bringing up your ex. But I understand at the same time. I think Betty Aldridge had brought it up. But I do understand at the same time, you have to process and work your way through your pain. And sometimes the way that people work through pain is through humor. You look at most famous comedians, most of them, if you've ever been in a room, I've had the privilege of doing comedy, stand-up comedy. And if you've ever been in a room with comedians, the funnier they are, the more jacked up their lives are a lot of times. They have so much stuff going on that it's insane that you question like how are they even able to get to smile. And when push comes down to shove, they deal with it through humor. And that's what I saw when I saw Christine and Janelle doing it. They were joking about something that traumatized them. It wasn't the fact that he took the damn suitcase rack, but it was the suitcase rack was emblematic of their entire relationship. It was symbolic of their entire relationship because this is how he treated our relationships. It was all about him, and he didn't have any thought or consideration for us. And the fact that he would take the luggage rack from them and not even consider them in that small thing was just a mere example of a larger problem. And all Mary heard was, oh, they keep talking about Cody and Robin. They need to leave my friends alone. Like, we need to all grow up. Like, bump that. Like, let them deal with, if you don't want to deal with your pain, you don't have to deal with your pain. You know what I mean? You don't have to deal with it that way. But at the same time, I'm watching the episodes of you sitting around with your friends, and your friends are saying a bunch of stuff, and you just sitting there laughing. So obviously, you told them and talk crap about Cody, and you allowed your friends to talk crap about Cody. You just didn't nut up to get up and say it yourself. So then we got that conversation, but with marrying them, like, it's hard. Like, it's hard. Like, I'm trying to be on the side, but that's where I struggle with it. Because if he's a bad guy and you watched him do all these terrible things, and you aren't mad that he did these terrible things. You're just mad because he kicked you out and you're not a part of it no more. Then you don't deserve the forgiveness of your participation in that situation. And like she said, like the thing that kind of is resounding, and this is one of the things that's kicking around the internet, that Mary was a little rough on the kids and rough on the other wives, and she was a hard person to deal with. Cody said that, Christine said that, Janelle said that, some of the kids have come out and said that. Now, if a lot of people are saying this thing about you, it's kind of hard for me to sit there and ignore it. So, I mean, like the caller said, like Tina said, at the end of the day, maybe this is karma, and we'll push it out of shove. Let's be honest. Like, she went along with the whole Robin thing. Again, I'm releasing a video about like a few videos about that whole thing. I'm pulling stuff, but when I watch it, she went along with that whole story. You guys gave Cody cover because that's what it was about. You guys told a lie about how he met Robin and how she came into the family because you were covering for Cody. And Mary went along with that lie. Because Christine didn't know, like, they didn't even know that Mary and Robin and Cody saw each other in the church. And I don't think they just saw each other in the church. I think they talked in the church. I'll go ahead and make that prediction. You wrong, James. I don't think so. Ooh. Next up, we got Tiger Kata. What's up, Miss Kata?
My other point was, hi James, Tanya Carter. I was just thinking, I was listening to one of your shows, and one of your callers was talking about Mary and how she basically was a lot like Robin in the end. We all say how Robin monopolized the finances, monopolized Cody, didn't care about the other wives and their children and what they needed. And ultimately, before Robin came on the scene, Mary was doing the same thing. I've never really felt too sorry for Mary with the whole how Robin and Cody treated her because, I mean, walk away. But honestly, she did the same thing to the OG 3, the OG 2 and the OG 13 whenever before Robin even came in there by getting the same financial budget as the other ones who had a family of 7 to her family of 2. If you can look around and see them eating moldy bread and not being able to buy clothes for their children while you and at the time Mariah have everything, I don't see how that's fair. I think I'm going to get cut off here, but I just can't feel sorry for her when you think about it that way. She did the same thing that Robin did, and I'm sorry, but karma catches up to you. And so Robin just basically did what she did.
And you know what? I'll get back to her part 2 in a second. Just to comment on that. Like, I think that that's an excellent point. Something I had not really considered before. I guess I did tangentially, but never direct comparison between Mary to what Robin was doing. So that's very insightful for Mrs. Kata. But I think that push comes down to shove. It's an excellent point because I've always said, especially with regard to like Mary sitting there crying and saying like, well, some people think I shouldn't have as much because I only have one child and they have other children, and I feel like I wanted more kids, and blah, blah, blah. And she did the whole like trauma dump thing. Look, at the end of the day, I can respect the fact that you wanted to have more children, and it's a tragedy that you couldn't have more children and you didn't have the family that you wanted to have, and that's very unfortunate. However, there are kids who are here. Okay, we can't cry about the kids who never came when we have kids who are here, and those kids are hungry. So this comes up and brings up the exact policy and exact understanding of like social dynamics and how societies work and how families need to work, even relationships for the most part. Same is not equal. Same is not equal. You could give the wives the same amount of money, but if one wife has less responsibilities, financial responsibilities, than the other two wives, and you have three wives, then you're not treating them equally, even though you're giving them the same. If they all have the same house, one has like you're giving all three wives a 3-bedroom, and two of your wives have 6 kids apiece, and one of your wives has one child, so that third bedroom gets to be an office or a playroom or a game room or whatever. That's not equal. It's not equal. It's the same, but it's not equal. It's not fair. So this really gets into the whole idea of, especially when Mary talks about and harps on like I was one of the founders of this family, one of the architects of this family. That's one of the problems or issues that I have then for the architect. Like, you contrived this family, and it would have been my preference, and this is just me. Y'all do y'all, I'll do me. It would have been my preference if I had a bunch of kids and a bunch of wives who are all together. I would have liked a situation where we all kind of looked out for each other, because that's the only way I really see a benefit. Otherwise, I just have a bunch of baby mamas. You understand what I mean? Like, if we're not living together, we're not helping each other, we're not living as a unit or a community with one another, as a family, as one another, then I have like separate women who have separate kids, and those are separate families. Then I don't have a family. I have women I have kids with, or a bunch of baby mamas. And I don't think that that's I'm insulted by that. Yeah, because it doesn't sound like it has a higher calling, does it? No, it doesn't. I think that that's the reason why it's insulting. But if you're acting, if it walk like a duck and it talk like a duck and it quack like a duck, it's a damn duck. And if that's how you guys are doing your relationships, then that's how you are. That's what you are by how you're acting. You're not acting as a family. You're not looking out for one another. And the thing specifically that Tanya is talking about is actually can be cited in the book, where Mary herself in her section talked about how when she's raising her family, because she only has one child, her and her daughter, they like organic meats. So she gets like fresh fresh off the farm chicken breast and things like that, and they eat healthier. They get farm vegetables, whereas Christine and Janelle were getting, like, they were going to Costco buying in bulk. They were adding to the food stores and things of that nature because they had so many mouths to feed. And let's keep it real. Like, when they all came back together and they were living together, Mary's child was probably going down there to hang out with Christine and eating her food too. She was feeding everybody. So, because she was hanging out with her brothers and sisters. So I think that kind of plays a role in it too. Next up, we got let's do the second message from Tanya Kata. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
My other point was, in the end, with the exception of Christine, and I'm not saying Christine is perfect, but I can't find too much fault with Christine like I can the others. Of course, Cody and Robin, just despicable. Mary, she treated them in the beginning just like Robin did. I mean, let's be honest. And then Janelle, Queen Janelle, as much as I love Janelle, I find a little bit of fault in Janelle too, because if Christine is taking care of cooking, cleaning, daycare, homeschooling, all of your kids during the day while you and Mary and Cody are out working, and then you all come home in the evening, and trust me, she's probably already made dinner for these kids before she leaves to go to work. She talked about how she asked Cody for help and how Cody couldn't come downstairs and put her children in bed, which is absolutely disgusting. But also, where the hell was Janelle? How come Janelle couldn't help? How come Mary couldn't help? If she's taking care of their kids all day long, they can't just make sure that her kids brush their teeth and go to bed and get in the bed at a decent time. Like, they can't do the same for her. There's a lot of fault and blame to go around. And honestly, I don't feel like too much of it lands on Christine. And that's why she is the hero in the story for me. Is she a little annoying sometimes?
Okay. Tanya got cut off. But I think she's gonna feel. Is she a little annoying sometimes? Absolutely, but okay, cool. I see where she's coming from. I think that Tanya makes an excellent point, especially when it comes to when we assign blame. And this is one of the things, ladies. This is what I was talking about earlier when I said, if you follow behind TLC, you force the fans to start asking those difficult questions. Some things you guys really don't want fans to really start looking at. Because these questions do start coming up. How much did you know? When did you know it? And what did you do about it? When we can all criticize Cody for not going down there. Absolutely criticize Cody for not going down to take care of his children, make sure his kids are okay to tuck them in. But again, if you guys are in a house full of people, especially you guys are supposed to be so scared. I'm so scared of the authorities. They'll come and separate the family and they'll break us all up and tell us that we can't ever talk to each other again. It'll be so terrible. So terrible, we got to go to Vegas. At least that was the storyline. Right. But that's something you're legitimately afraid of. Ladies, folks, I don't even say ladies. Folks, one of the quickest ways for the state to come in there and start looking around your house and poking around is for something to happen to one of them kids and they find out that you got a damn 5 or 6 year old checking on kids or watching kids, babysitting, or 10-year-old responsible for 5 other kids or 4 other kids at the time. You will get smashed. What were you doing? They're downstairs basically in their own apartment all night alone, and all you adults are sitting in this damn house. Where was the dad at? Oh, with his other wife. Yeah, that's how you get looked at, and that's how you lose your kids. So just on that, that selfish, superfluous front, we're gonna try to keep DHS out of our business, or CPS, DHS, CPS, depending on where you are, Child Protective Services, or Department of Human Services. We'll keep them out of our house and out of our hair. So we're gonna go down and make sure the kids are okay. But again, it goes back to what I was saying as a family, making sure that the kids are okay because that's supposed to be your kids too. I don't want the, selfish side again. I don't want them burning the damn house down with me and my kids in it. Because you don't know, when they downstairs in that, because Christine lived in the basement part of that house. And if that damn thing would have caught fire, nobody getting out of there. So yeah, you go check on them kids, make sure them kids in the bed. The fact that you didn't have Logan go down and check on him, which is crazy for me to say too, because Logan was already taxing, getting the kids up and getting them ready for school, getting his brothers and sisters, well, all them brothers and sisters, but getting Janelle's kids ready for school, his household ready for school. Now he got to be in charge of going down and check on them. But the other parents could have did it. And there's also the point that I was making about, just to close that out with what Tanya had said, that was the point I was making about traditional roles and like the whole trad wife movement. The jacked up part about it is if you have a partner, like I'm not against trad wives, I'm not against traditional families or traditional homes, stay at home moms, or even stay at home dads. Okay. Whoever make the most money, they can go hit them bricks, fight the lions at the bay, and the other person can take care of the kids. Dads can take care of babies too. But like same, dads can take care of babies too. So if you go to work, just because you work during the day, if you have kids, when you get home, that doesn't mean that you get to come home and not do anything for the rest of the night. You have responsibilities. You have children. Those children are just as much your responsibility as it is the home person or the caretaker that you have. And it would make sense to me that you would want to build in breaks for that person so that that person can be as fresh and as alert and as involved as they need to be. So you have to be able to build in breaks. And I'm going to be honest, as a dad, don't you want to, like, selfishly, don't you want to spend time with your kids too? Don't you want to talk to them too? Like, I mean, we're kind of putting it in a position where, at least I feel like in the last few moments, I felt like I was putting like spending time with your kids as a punishment. It's actually a reward. Like, one of your pleasures should be coming home, sitting down, talking to your kids. Because one of the magical things about having children is that like I said, I've said it all the time. I've been around. I'm one of them. I'm one of the guys. I'm one of the wise ones. I'm aged or whatever the hell. But one of the cool things about kids is that you get to see the world that has grown old and stale to you because you've been in it for so long and struggled with it so long. You get to see that same world through a new set of eyes and new experiences. You get to see the optimism. Usually kids have a lot of optimism when it comes to the world around them. Whereas older folks, we tend to be a little more pessimistic. We tend to be a little more skeptical. Or younger folks see opportunity. We sit around and talk about, as older folks, we'll sit around and talk about when I was a kid, the world was different. The kids all respected adults. No, they didn't. Let's be honest. No, they didn't. The world was not different. It was just the world didn't change. We did. Okay, that's the reality of it. The world didn't change, we did. Okay, and you could go back to the 60s. Everything about sex now. Have you heard about the sexual revolution of the 60s, folks? But they doing the devil's the devil's salad. Smoking that marijuana. But have you heard of the 60s? Yeah, they've been doing a lot of stuff for a long time, a long time. These boomers, what they call boomers, like the generation before, like Generation X and all that other stuff, like the greatest generation, they was doing a whole bunch of stuff. By the 60s, 70s, they was off the hook. So, like I said, the world didn't change, we did. But by having children, you get to see the world through the way you used to. It's actually, YouTube is my time machine. I didn't see them in there yet. But my kids are my time machine because I get to see the world the way I used to see the world. In all the majesty, the hope. You know what I mean? The things, that the prospects, the potential. Your kids have that. And so when you come in from work and you had that hard day and you don't get summer vacations, you don't get breaks. Only days off you get are your specified rest days and vacation days and maybe a couple sick days here and there. That's the only time you get off. But your kids still on that school time where they get the summers off and they get like all the holidays and they're very excited about life and everything. You get to experience that with them. So why are you cheating yourself? Why are you cheating yourself? And so that's just like, I think that he has an opportunity. Like when he was coming home, instead of looking at it as, I don't want to go down there and sit with your kids because that's a burden. That's an opportunity for you to be able to connect with your children. And what's ironic is, and I'll close on this part because I got to get on to the next call, but what's ironic is later on in season 18 and even in season 19, he's still complaining that he has to go through his wives in order for him to connect with his kids. He has to have his wives facilitate his relationships with his kids. You know why that is? Because you never took your ass downstairs when you had the opportunity to connect with your kids when you had the opportunity. You did that. If you would have been excited about seeing your kids, trying to spend time with your kids, and jealously look at that time, don't wait for your girlfriend or your wife to get a new man and break up with you and she starts seeing somebody else. Now you got to be around your kids 100% of the time because they need to know who you are and this, that, and the other. Don't wait for them. Spend time with your kids before that because they're your kids. You know what I mean? It's not a burden. It's a pleasure. It's an honor. You know what I mean? You've been given a great gift by being granted the ability to spend time with children. That's an immeasurable gift. And so it's a shame that you have so many people who squander that opportunity because they don't respect it, they don't appreciate it, and they don't have gratitude. And it's funny to me because I can see Cody sitting around talking about these women need to have more gratitude and be more grateful because I'm in their life and all the things I did for them. You should be grateful to them, not just because they gave you these children, but you should be grateful for your kids and show that gratitude by actually trying to invest in them and spend time with them. I don't just spend time with my kids because I want to teach them all the stuff that they need to know. There is a part of it, if I'm going to be very honest, that's selfish. I mean, there is a selfish part of that. I want to spend time with them because I like hanging out with them. I enjoy them. You understand what I mean? I do that. And if somebody came in, like I always say that, but I probably should stop saying, me and my wife didn't work out and she went off with somebody else, I would be jealous of that time. Like if I couldn't be around my kids all the time, I would be jealous of that time. I'd be envious of that time. I couldn't get them off the bus when they were getting off the bus, or I couldn't take them to school or sit down and have a conversation with them when I want to. I would be jealous of that. You understand what I mean? But it took Cody to lose his family for him to start to appreciate him. That happens a lot of times. You don't see the silver lining in the cloud till you doubt it. You know, you don't know how much you truly have until you go without it. That's a song called Good People from Empire. But yeah, I 100% believe that. So, tis what it is. But you know, hey, either way, bro, you was a manly man. Manly man. Congratulations, you played yourself. All right, I got Brittany, not Brittany, and she'll be the last call. Yeah, guys, if you guys want to leave a message, you're more than welcome, and we'll talk about it.
Okay, so this has probably been talked about before, but I've been relaxed on in the rewatch crew. I'm sorry. But I find it hilariously ironic that in Cody's story about how he met Robin, he was at church ogling her, even though to him, he was pretty sure she was probably married. And it was inappropriate for him to be eyeing her up and down in the middle of a church service as somebody else's wife. However, now he's so afraid to let her go to church by herself because of the possibility that someone else would be equally as inappropriate as him and probably more inappropriate and actually, not care that she's married. And it's interesting to me because I feel like what that says about Cody is that if Robin had been married, he probably would have tried to find some reason to still talk to her regardless of her marital status. And I think Cody would have had an affair with her, even if she were married. That's my take.
All right, Brittany answered the question. I guess Brittany participated in the poll. Without participating in the poll, she got it. Yeah, 100%. I think that you know what? that whole story again, I want to break it down in over the course of several videos because I think that there's a lot there to unpack. But 100%, Brittany's firing on all scales. Like at that point, he was so deep into it that I definitely think he would have creeped off without her. I definitely think he would have stepped with her. She said some other things. Hold on one second.
Okay, so this has probably been talked about before, but I've been real lax in the rewatch crew. I'm sorry. But I find it hilariously ironic that in Cody's story about how he met Robin, he was at church ogling.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. Yeah, he was at church, giving her the hard eyes. Yeah, look, you can't be eye screwing somebody and then sit there and try to play like you wasn't. Oh yeah, I mean, I was just maybe like that. And then again, part of my pull on the show was when, if you recall, not only did Cody play down the fact that he was the one who initiated these relationships, and I go through the whole timeline from the show when it was presented on the show to when they talked about it to when he talked about it later on, and we all tied up and wrap it up in a big fat ugly ass bow of bullshit because I go back and I actually tap into the book. Now you could say that maybe they edited it wrong and on the show and it was nasty, but you can't say that the book that was written for you. I know you guys didn't write it; it was written by a ghostwriter, but you guys approved it. You approved those pages. You approved the story, and so we go off that story. Cody sat there and he told a story about how Mary had introduced them, and it was all like a serendipity that they met and they got along and da. But didn't he also say that Robin had gave him the ick? He wasn't initially attracted to her because she had kids and it was so disgusting. Remember that? That was in that part of that same interview in season 1. Where he's like, yeah, I saw Robin. She gave me the ick because she had kids. She's divorced and she had kids. Meanwhile, Janelle is sitting there divorced. Janelle was married to Mary's brother. If anything, should have gave you the ick. That type of incestuous relationship should have gave you the ick. But that didn't bother you. You had 6 kids with her. It is what it is. Cool. You're a grown-ass man. You're in your 40s. And you meet a woman. And you think that she's not going to be married at 30 years old, 30 plus. She's never been in a relationship. She has no kids. You expect her to just be out there flying around, no babies, and no men to speak of. No, not a man in sight. But she the finest thing you ever did see. Bro, you make no damn sense. You make no sense. That whole thing didn't make any sense. Kathy from Mazda, you had to vet her hard. Yeah, I vetted Robin hard. I got to pull that up. Thank you so much. I forgot all about that shit. I vetted Robin hard. Apparently, he didn't run a credit check. but yeah, it's the fact that you made those overt attempts to get at her. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, you can't, like, there's certain things that you just can't do in these types of relationships because, like it or not, at the end of the day, I 100% give that the stamp that Cody was cheating. That to me, in my perspective, and I think that if you talk to Christine, Mary, or Janelle, and you ask them about how this played out, whether it was on the up and up, as far as polygamy, I got to get in touch with Mel and Corey from Notes to Self 444. That shit sounds like cheating to me. To my monogamous ears, granted, that sounds like cheating. If you, because I know, like, I'm in my relationship, I can't go to no church, be staring at somebody like, you know what I mean? Who that? Like, you can't be doing that shit. Your wife's here, you say that. Oops, upside the head. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to be tough. Like, that's going to be a long-ass car ride, Jack. You know what I mean? The whole way home. Who the hell you think you are looking at that woman? You have no woman in there calling all kinds of names and and you better not defend her. You better not pretend like, girl, we don't even know her. We don't know her like that to be calling her all these names. You better not do that shit. You better shut the hell up. Just ride it out. You better ride it out. You know what I mean? That's what happened when you, as a monogamist, that's what happened when you be at the church eyeballing people. Shoot. And your wife be standing, the way it worked, your wife be standing looking you right in the face. Damn, look at that right there. Oh. Uh-oh. You in for a hard ride. You be trying to hang out with the priest or the reverend or whoever. I was curious about when you was giving that sermon. It was beautiful. You speak the word so good. I was wondering if maybe I could talk to you and get some guidance. Baby, you go on home. I catch a ride. No, I'll wait for you because you getting cussed out on the way home, Jack. But as far as I'm concerned, that sounded to me like cheating. That sounds like cheating. If you sit up there and you doing all that, and I'm gonna give a little preview of some of the stuff that I'm gonna talk about. The story itself doesn't make sense because I don't believe in coincidences. So the story that they laid out, as best we could piece it together, you have Cody and Robin running into each other at the church. For some reason, Robin drives 5 hours to attend a mass or a service, or I guess they call it service. I think they call it service. A church in a different place, in a different community. Of course, she doesn't know about the TV show and the fact that everybody in that little ass community would know about the TV show. And I say that for this reason. They see each other there at the church where he eyeballs her. She says she get up, walk past him, check over the shoulder to see if he checking for her. She looked back at him to see if he looking back at her, right? Doing that kind of thing. Then somehow, some way, he just happens to be in a car with the one wife who would back his play as far as getting another woman. Because if you could imagine that whole incident happened in the church, then he just happens to be driving down the street in his convertible car with his first wife, who he's having marital problems with and is desperately trying to be on his side. He happens to be in a car with her, as opposed to his second wife or his third wife. We'll go back forward with Christine. Christine is so adamant that she doesn't want more people in the house because she doesn't feel like she's getting her time. There's no way in the world Christine would have signed off on another wife or a younger wife or an additional wife. So if Christine was in the car, even though he just happened to run past Robin's cousin's house and saw her coming out, getting ready to go home, like a month later, according to them, he just happened to be driving down the street and saw Robin coming out and jumped out of the car, potted out the car, and that's where they were introduced. If he was with anybody other than Mary, this whole thing wouldn't have worked. Janelle, she doesn't care. So if Cody would have pursued Robin, he would have had to pursue Robin. The only one that would have actually actively participated in trying to allow Cody to date Robin was Mary. Coincidence? I think not. Then you go on to them being at the dance. Christine was at the dance. Like, I'm giving away too much. But Christine was at the dance too. It was Christine, Mary, and Cody. They waited for Christine to leave for all of a sudden Cody is over there dancing with Robin. This sounds like cheating. This sounds like cheating. If I, as a married man, if I did this same shit, I'm telling you, this is what it would be. It would be me cheating. I happen to run into a girl or a woman. I don't call them girl, but I run into a woman at some place, the church, the mall, the store, the supermarket, wherever, the park, doesn't make a difference. We sitting there eyeballing each other. I'm going to slide over there. If I'm that interested to where I'm basically eye screwing her, I'm definitely going to go over there and say hello, and I'm going to have a conversation. Who are you? Or what, blah, 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 blah. Or maybe if I gave him the extreme benefit of the doubt, he never went over and talked to her. But that community, that church is small enough where you could ask, who's that new girl? Who is she with? Is she married? Who's she here with? Oh, she's here with her cousin. And who's her cousin? Reba. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. And I know where Reba live. And I talked to her, and like I said, it's just weird that all of a sudden you just happen to be on the one street that she happens to be on when she's coming out. Come on now. You talk to her. And then you guys got into a conversation where your wife was introduced. That's some more bullshit too. Like I said, that's rookie stuff. Let's be honest. That's straight up rookie stuff. You introduce your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend to the person you plan on cheating with, because that way you have the excuse of, oh, you know them. We met them together. That's your friend. You guys was getting along. Now all of a sudden you think I'm cheating with her? Come on. So you can gaslight the shit out of them. This ain't new. Like this is not new. The only reason why it might not be as clear is because we're looking at it through the rose-colored glasses of trying to understand an alternative lifestyle. But if you took Cody out of this situation and you put a monogamous man into it, there's no way that anybody would make the argument that no, yeah, he absolutely per chance happened to meet this girl and nothing was going on. If it was a situation where instead of him bringing her into the family, he wound up divorcing his wife, and then eventually somehow, some way, the two of them connected and they got married later, you would call bullshit on this whole situation, and you would look at that and say, he was messing with her ass the whole damn time. That's why he left his wife. That's why he's not with his family, because he's with her now. He'd been messing with her. Because the whole story, none of that story makes sense. And I've been saying this. None of that story makes any sense. None of that makes sense. Oh, I just happen to be like, you know how lucky you would have to be. Like this, fuck that. Oh, pardon my friend. Forget that relationship. You should have been playing a lotto. If you're that lucky, I would rather have the Mega Millions or the Powerball or whatever the big number game is now. I would so much rather have that luck, all my luck on that generational money, where you get that money, your kids don't have to work, right? As opposed to like running into the same person. And Lehigh, let me check this out, because I gotta ask myself, like, how big Lehigh population? We're gonna look it up. We're gonna look it up together. Lehigh population is 100,000 people. 90,227. I'm sorry. There's no way in the world y'all just happen to be riding down the street and you run into somebody. That's some bull stuff. Because again, if we were talking about strictly a monogamous relationship, none of this shit would make sense. We would all be calling bull crap on it. But that's where I'm at. All right. Yeah, my hope is Christina in her new book will do just that. It's Cindy, all right? They should have unsealed Cody and Robin for all dodgy stuff they did prior to sealing. Yeah. I just, I'm just in that block, man. I want to, I'm trying to go along for the ride, but some of this stuff, like I said, I get where Brittany's coming from, and I agree with what she said. Like, if I asked that question earlier, as far as the poll was concerned, and where are the results for the poll? I gotta find it. Yeah, I think it was pretty high. Like the poll was pretty high. So let me see. I don't see it, but I know it was like a lot of you guys agree with it. the whole point, because that's crazy. I think that no matter what happened, and this is just the unfortunate part of it, I think that no matter what happened, Cody already made his decision. And again, this is guys, I'm gonna go into like the series I have coming out. I'm getting into a lot of this kind of stuff, but this is what I'm saying as far as like it. Robin was coming into the family irregardless of what anybody was saying. She was coming into the family. Either she was coming into the family, or if the women absolutely completely revolted against Cody and said no, she absolutely cannot be a member of the family, I think Cody would have straight up left the Brown family. You understand what I mean? I think he would have left those women to get Robin. It's a sad situation, but I think that that's the case. If they absolutely would have rejected her, I think he would have rolled on them. And it's sad to say that, but I think that that's the case. Like, not only do I think he would have cheated on her if she wasn't available, but I think he would have rolled. But that's my time, guys. Let me get the last super chat. Oh, we had a couple. Unlimited Lipstick, Janet, member for 1 month. Okay, welcome to the club, Janet. Shopping and Cody thinking they were going to be the heroes of the show with their special love. Yeah, they was. They're delusional creeps. No one wants to see that. Yeah, I think it was just, I really think that was a heavy miscalculation on behalf of TLC, but I completely think that that's how they were. Even when I go back and watch it, I thought that before. I'd argued for it before. People were, no, that's not what they were doing. And I went back and looked at it recently because I wanted to pull some information for the videos I'm doing, producing the videos. And I'm telling you, like the way they did this show, like the one-on-ones with Robin being overly curious about her life, her lifestyle, and how she sees polygamy. They weren't asking the women because this was supposed to be a show about polygamy. So why not ask the 3 women who have been in polygamy? The show is called Sister Wives. Why not ask women who have experience being sister wives, as opposed to the woman who has 0 experience being a sister wife? Yeah, this is like if I'm joining a team or an organization, you don't interview me on my first day about the history and what it's like to work for this place. I have no clue. You talk to the guy who's been here for 20, 30 years, the guy who got 20 in. That's the person, what's it like working at this place? What's the culture like? Talk to him. You don't talk to me. I think that the way it's going to work is that ideally, like, I have no idea. Just like Robin had no idea, but they hyper-focused on her. And I think that show was about her. Like, I think that's what they were trying to do with the show. I'm glad. I think it's funny that I'm happy that it didn't work out. It played out as I expected it to, because any fool could have told you that the demographic that this specific show targets, there's no way they're rooting for the woman who comes in and breaks up the family. Okay. Some of the audience members may have been in a situation where they were sitting in the seat of the OG3, where they were the wife who helped build a man up and get his life going real good so that he could abandon her and her kids so that he can go with the new young thing. And that person is not going to celebrate a Robin, or should I say a duplicate of the person that took their husband. It wasn't happening. Or they have friends and family members who underwent that as part of the fan base. They have friends and family who went through that ordeal. They're not going to celebrate and get on the side of the other woman. I knew that. Unfortunately, I don't think TLC did. So, yeah, 100%. I think that all of them are delusional. Anybody who signed off, yeah, that's a good idea. We're definitely going to be able to do that. I think that you guys all messed up. I think y'all, you played yourself. Congratulations. Let me give you a little something. Then we had $20 super chat from Heather Kelly. Thank you so much, Heather. I appreciate you. You sponsored the chat tonight. Give you a little something. Give you a little something. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. yeah, guys, that's where we are. Keep an eye out. I got to put these videos together. It's a little more labor intensive than I thought it was going to be. Because once I got started, I started peeling and started pulling stuff. It just started like piling up, like one after another of like inconsistencies, outright lies, accusations. And the one thing, and I want to say this from the start, and I got a small YouTube channel, and I don't know if the TLC or the cast members are going to listen to me, but I am saying for me, if you guys keep blaming the fans and your audience members for watching the show, seeing what they say on the show, and then holding you accountable based on the things that they've seen you say and do on the show with their two eyes, if you keep coming after them, I'm going to stay on your ass. I'm going to ride you like a rented mule, Jack. Because the one thing that, like, I get it. Everybody got their own thing. Everybody has their own perspective and their own point of view. I get that. But what you can't do is insult and try to belittle and insult the audience, the people who made you, the people who supported you, the people who watched your show and put you in a position where you have all the nice things that you have and that you're currently enjoying today. You don't get to go back and pretend like they're all crazy or they're all stupid or they're all like, oh, Cody, one of the more annoying things to me is that Cody treats the audience members and people who watch the show like you're jumping in his business. Ain't nobody show up to your house unsolicited. It's not like we sitting in the bushes in your front yard trying to watch and see what you and Robin are doing. You put yourself out. And I've said from the beginning, if you don't want me talking about you, just come off the show. If you come off the show, you notice I don't talk about Hunter. I don't talk about Logan. The only time I talked about Logan was when they had talked about on the show, they went to Logan's wedding. That's the only time I talked about Logan on my show. I don't talk about nobody because I respect their privacy. If you don't want to be on the show and you don't want to have your business out there, Gwendolyn, she decided not to be on the show. When was the last time you heard me talk about Gwen? You understand what I mean? Like, I don't talk about Gwendolyn's business and what she got going on. I don't talk about Leon and what they have going on because I figure they don't want to be on the show. They don't want to talk about it. It's not my place to drag them out. I apologize for that. But it's not my place to drag them out and try to tell their story. If they want to tell their story and they come out and they publicly say something, then I'll comment on it. Cody, Robin, if you guys don't want me talking about you, come off the damn show. Stop putting out content. And I won't comment on you because the only thing I comment on is your real content. I might comment on things that hit the paper, but that's only because it's relevant to the content that you put out. But when I do that, don't sit there and try to play like I'm crazy. I don't know what I'm talking about. Or the people who watch the show and call into the show, watch or in the chat or watch the videos or whatever the case may be, and they have opinions on it that they're crazy and they don't know what they talk about because we're not playing that game. Okay, we're not in high school. You're not the captain of the cheerleading and football team. We're not following you around like little pixies and curious nerds who just want to have a little bit of your shine or hating on you because you guys are so awesome. That's not what's happening. And if you think that's what's happening, you need to put the peace pipe down and come on back to reality. So that's where I'm at. And that's what's kind of got me digging through a lot of this stuff because I didn't like what really got me looking was when they made the accusation that it's oh, you guys are crazy. That's not what happened. That's the internet. That's the fools on the internet talking that crazy stuff. No, it's not. That's what you guys have said in your show. If you want to be mad at anybody, don't be mad at the fans. Don't be mad at the YouTubers, the people on social media, the Twitters, the tweeters and all that other stuff. Be mad at yourself or be mad at the people at TLC because you guys put that out there. Be mad at the person who wrote your book. Be mad at the producer who put your show out and has been saving your butt since you've been on the show because they don't put out the negative stuff about you. That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at. So, again, we're going to peel this onion and we're going to break it all the way down. There's some other stuff that I want to talk about too, but the big thing that I want to talk about is like that first meeting, because again, that's what introduced us to the show. It's what opens us up to the family and what brings them out. And so if we're going to talk about honesty, then let's talk about honesty. If we're going to talk about reputation, let's talk about that. If you want to earn our views, because that's where I think it is too. Like, I think that you guys have been on TV, and I'm talking directly to Cody, Robin, and anybody else who's on this show. You guys have been on this show so long that you've taken the viewership of this show for granted. You've been mailing in a lot of your content. You've been mailing in a lot of the stuff that you guys have been presenting. You've been shortchanging us. And so you either got to pick it up, or step aside, because it's downright disrespectful. It's disrespectful to people's time. And that's part of the reason why, like, I have nothing against people going back doing the rewatches and stuff. There's part of the reason why I'm not doing the rewatches, because I'm not doing the rewatches just because I think that it's disrespectful and I'm playing into the disrespect, because you guys didn't put any content out in season, real new content out since season 14, 15. You had new work content. But since then, you just basically been rehashing and reheating up, giving us warmed up meals. Like, you've been put it in the microwave. We've been heating up leftovers. And you're using YouTubers and social media people to perpetuate this whole thing, because we go back and we talk about it on our channels and we keep the interest high by going back, talking about the old episodes, this, that, and other. And then you guys roll out another bullshit season. And it's not fair. It's not fair to us. And it's certainly not fair to the fans and the viewers who watch this show and have invested in the show. And again, if you guys don't want to do the show anymore, stop doing the damn show. If you're not interested in putting out new content, stop putting out any content. Just go on about your life. But don't use people. That's my thing. But yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. What's this? 88 likes and 185 watchers. Let's give James that HBO special. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell. He deserves it. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm trying. That's the thing. Like, I don't want to put out, because I could roll out a bunch of bullshit. Like, let me just put out something. Hey guys, I'm gonna talk about the same thing I talked about 50 times ago. Like, I don't want to do that, because I respect your time. And I appreciate you guys taking the time. Like, I know these lives go kind of long, 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes 5 hours, 6 hours. Like, you guys hang in there with me. And I try to give you something. I try to, entertain you. I try to give you my perspective on things. I try to hear your perspective on things, because I think that that's the way that it should be. Like, you respect people for giving you their time. That's a gift. That's a tremendous gift, that somebody's going to give you their time. And for you to disrespect it is ridiculous to me. It's completely ridiculous. But Kathy from Oz, none of us want to see. Yeah, please give me the likes and subscribe. Thank you so much, Nicole. But City from Oz said none of us want to see Cody drool over Robin. No, that's not even a storyline. What kind of storyline is that? I want my wife so bad. She do things. It's like I got hair in funny places. I get these funny feelings when I think of girls. Like, dude, that's puberty. Like, that was so long ago for you. Stop it. I'm not interested in hearing about it. Let it go. Okay, you love your wife. Cool. We've been saying that. That's new to you. Again, that's another thing that's new to you. All the fans have been saying that for years. It's not hot tea that you do anything for Robin. That shit ain't new. So stop it. Stop telling that story. You know what I mean? Oh, not Robin. I love her so much. I don't give a shit. Like, bro, and it's not even so much I don't care that you love Robin. It's that I've already known that. I've been known that. I knew that since you were on the show. You know what I mean? That you actually love Robin. When you sat there, dumbass, when you sat there and said, yeah, when it came to Robin, I picked a dress. That when you said that shit, and you could see Christine's reaction and the other wives' reaction. Their reaction wasn't their reaction because just because they went and wasted time. Their reaction was their reaction because you didn't do the same thing for them. You didn't give them the same consideration. And so I could see that there was a difference. Again, I don't know why the fans think that I thought she was my favorite, because I never said nothing, because we're not idiots. I mean, maybe that's what it is too. And that causing a question, bro, I'm going to be honest with you, that causes a question with the people that you spend your time with, because maybe you're surrounding yourself with stupid people. Okay? You surround yourself with idiots, you start to think that the rest of the world is idiots. The problem that you have is that when you come face to face with the outside world, people outside of your friend group, apparently, you run into people who actually have more than one brain cell connected to each other actually working. Their brain shit, their gray matter is firing off, and they actually think about things. They see things. They're able to use critical thinking and come to conclusions about stuff. And unfortunately for you, maybe you don't have that in your life. And that's too bad, so sad for you, boy. Woo! But in reality, we have common sense and we have lived experience. We all know that a grown-ass man ain't driving 5 damn hours to see anybody. Especially, let's put it this way. Let's put it into perspective. You're not this kind, gentle soul who just wants to spend time with his loved ones because that's what you want. You're the guy who wouldn't take 5 minutes out of your day to go down and check on your kids. But I'm supposed to believe that you just, selflessly drove 5 hours to go sit with this woman and her kids? I ain't new. I'm not new. I'm not new. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lot of things, but new ain't one of them. You can see that clearly. I'm not fresh out the box. I don't have the new car smell. Been around. And I'm telling you that that's not what happens. If you're that into like spending quality time with people, you would have took your ass downstairs, spend some quality time with your kids who's sitting downstairs in that house by themselves. You'd have took some quality time with them because you're such a caring person, but you're not. You got your ass, you ran in the house the way when they were filming it, and I'm sure that's the way it was going every other time that you were supposed to go out there and see Robin. You ran your ass in the house. Guys, I'm going to pack my bags. Where you going, Daddy? I'm going to see Robin, kids. Bump y'all. I don't give a shit what you got going on. You want to help me pack? How you have your kids that you don't spend time with helping you pack to go see your girlfriend and her kids? Kids that ain't even yours. Not new. That's all I'm saying. I'm not new. I'm not new. Sorry, I went off a little bit. What do you call moo and noodles? But yeah, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with a player. Let me give the folks a huge shout out. Appreciate everybody jumping in, helping out. Let me give a huge shout out to Unlimited Lipstick Janet. Welcome to the club. Make sure you check out the membership stuff. We have the motivational videos. I want to let you guys know. I'll send a message to Lizzie and Brittany, not Brittany, as well as Carmel Cuties, and we'll set it up so that we can try to let as many folks know. I want to do a member live for you guys, and I'll have everybody jump in. It'll be cool. I'll try to set it up, but we'll do that. But welcome to the club. Make sure you check out the member benefits, and big shout out for the super chats for Heather Kelly. Appreciate you. Let me give you guys a little something. Appreciate you. Where's my stuff at? There it is. And of course, got to give a huge shout out to Lizzie B. Holding a player down. That's the mega mod. I think she's here today by herself, but that's okay because Lizzie knows what she's doing. Lizzie, OG, triple OG. Lizzie's all right. And I want to give a huge shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys so much for participating, giving your thoughts. Oh, and the Speakpipe folks, if you guys want to do Speakpipe, by all means, make sure that you go ahead, leave a message on Speakpipe. The information's right there. Thank you, Lizzie. Speakpipe, ask your questions, leave your thoughts. The link is down below, speakpipe.com/mytakeonreality, and we can discuss your play your videos. Again, if you guys don't want to have your things played on air, just say don't play it on air, or this is a question. I just don't want the audio played, and I won't play it. or if you just want to give me some ideas or whatever, or something, whatever you want to say, that's fine. Just tell me not to play it and I won't. All right. But it's a way for you guys to be able to participate in the show and you can feel comfortable about it. The cool thing about Speakpipe, it's like an answering service almost. You call, you leave a message. If you don't like the message, you can always delete it. And then you can go back and re-record it as many times as you want. And then you could send it off once you perfected your message, said it the way you want it. But big shout out to Janet, Jada P, Tina, Tanya Kata, and Brittany Not Brittany. Thank you guys so much for leaving those messages. And again, huge shout out to the chat as well as to the Mega Mod. Oh, what 1 second. Lizzie B just gifted 1 membership, My Take On Reality membership. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. Hope you guys take advantage of it, participate in it. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. Let me give you a little something, Lizzie B, for that. Then for Lizzie B, the chat, all the Speakpipe folks, as well as everybody who participated and supports the channel by subscribing, hitting the like button and everything. Let me give you a little something. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. That's my take. That's my time. I'm James. This has been My Take on Reality. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Make sure you have a great time. I appreciate you. Enjoy the 4th of July. Be safe. Remember, traffic safety takes no holidays. So if you're going to be out, you're going to be glunk, 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 make sure you have that designated driver so that everybody gets home safe. All right? Because it's nothing like a good time, but it shouldn't be the last time. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Have a great night. That's my take. I'm James. This has been My Take on Reality. And guess what, y'all? I'm out.